Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 98. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benezowitz, and Alex is back in the house. The New York Knicks winners tonight at Madison Square Garden. They take down the Indiana Pacers, improved to 18-20. Julius Randle's back. Meanwhile, over in Brooklyn, the Nets, 3-game skid, looking terrible at home. They have now dropped to the second seed, or technically the third seed, have their 2 games behind the Bulls for the first seed. But Kyrie Irving will make his debut on Wednesday night. The big three return together for the first time since the Celtics series, the Bucks series. And it feels like that was half a year ago because it was. But anyway, Alex.
Mike.
How are you?
I'm good. Married now. Honeymoon's over. Back in reality. Got the Hawaii shirt rocking right now that I bought in Hawaii. And it's good to be back. Nice win tonight for the Knicks. Thanks for coming to the wedding, by the way. That was great. I really appreciated that.
Well, I wasn't there. Stop it. That is bullshit. Not true at all. Don't know what you're talking about. I was scouting the Nets. No idea what you're talking about.
Yes. You and your wife danced the whole night, even through the after party. It was great. But, we'll talk more about that later. But no, man, tonight was great. Julius Randle, like I said on Twitter today at Knicks Central, after this rest from the COVID stuff, he's going to come back rejuvenated and motivated, and he sure as hell was. And RJ Barrett started off with 17 and early in the first quarter at first. And my buddy Corey texted me. He's like, if he doesn't get 50, he sucks. Like, he was kidding, obviously. But it's just like, you start up that fast, and he started with like 35 or something. It's like crazy.
32.
32? Oh, yeah, 30, whatever. Yeah, 32. That's great. So Randle had 30 also, right? So, I don't care about the stats. It's just
no, I know you don't.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. But go ahead.
I know you don't. But Cooties on Twitter always gives me shit because I'm always correcting everything with like the stats. So there I am with the stats again. He's probably going, this asshole just can't let Alex have his moment. But yeah, sorry about that. But yeah,
Knicks, you're like that guy. It's like, oh, it's freezing in here. You're like, it's not freezing. It's not 32 degrees. So it's not freezing.
Knicks Knicks got performances from their star players, and that's why they won the game. And in particular, their defense in the second half, the fourth quarter was much better than the first half. It was a completely different team. You saw the ball denials by Mitch Robinson on Sabonis. Sabonis missed some free throws, and then the Knicks got out and competed in the fourth quarter on defense. You see the difference, and they go out and get a win they had to have. I mean, let's be real. Like, if they lost to the Pacers at home, who were missing a lot of guys,
Brogdon out, right? Yeah.
The Pacers are missing their starting backcourt, and at this point in the season, like, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to the other team. So you feel sympathy for players that we want to get healthy and be safe. But from a standpoint of a team being depleted, this is what it is. This is the NBA. I think everybody's going through it basically, but the Utah Jazz. So yeah, the Knicks needed to get this win tonight because they were playing a Pacers team that were missing their backcourt, and the Knicks at home needed performances from their guys. And they got it from the 2 guys, and Barrett and Randle, and they took advantage of it and got a much needed win.
Yeah, no, it was very exciting. It was a good game. I mean, the Knicks finally are back at full strength, I think, for the first time in a while. So that's exciting. And it was just nice to see Barrett be aggressive. And I was joking on Twitter today because last night when John Morant was crushing the Nets. I don't know if you're familiar with that game last night. That he was
we can go there if you want to.
I put out a tweet that RJ Barrett or John Morant's clearly taking that next step because last year I was tweeting out things like, look at their stats, like John Morant and RJ Barrett's stats are similar. And so I put out just because I'm a credible person, I put out and say, well, you know what, John Morant's taking that step and RJ Barrett hasn't. I believe RJ can still take a step, but clearly, basically the tweet was clearly our John Morant is like a level above, it's not even close. It's not even close. And then tonight, RJ just comes out of nowhere. 17 in the first quarter. People are tweeting me like, you motivated him. You got
right.
it. It's so funny.
Maybe you did. I will go back to
Never
that
know.
from last year and say, and you and I disagree on this. I think regardless of how their stats were comparatively, I thought John Morant was a world better than RJ Barrett even last season.
No.
I know their numbers are close, but you could see John Morant just as their superstar potential. I mean, he was the second pick in the draft and Zion Williamson won. And right now Memphis has themselves a cornerstone superstar player that they can use in the future. And Morant was fantastic. He's a load of fun to watch. He was great to watch at Murray State. He is just a great dude, great player. And if you're the Grizzlies, you're like, we have somebody that we can build our franchise around. And we're going to stop now. I'm going to stop now talking about the Memphis Grizzlies for 20 seconds because it's probably 20 seconds a little bit too long. But yeah, RJ Barrett had a game. He had a star level game. I mean, the issue for him, and it's been all season long, is the inconsistency. It's a 30-point game here, then a 7-point game here, then 13. Okay, 24, 9. Same with Randle, and that's been the issue. And I know, of course, the second you come back on this fucking thing, Randle has his best game that he has had in forever.
Mitchell Robinson dominates the boards. Everybody.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Randle had a great game versus the Hawks. He was very good there on the Christmas Day game. He was excellent in that game. But, his body language, not playing well. You're over in Hawaii, having the time of your life. And Knicks fans are pissed. Knicks fans were angry. Knicks fans
I was
were not
watching.
happy with.
I was watching. Yeah.
But
I wasn't on Twitter, but I was watching the games when I could. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he had bad games. He did. He really did. So of course, the second you come back here and the shot didn't count, but that 3-point shot he had in the corner that was the right call when they looked at it, which confuses me too, by the way. Like, why are they looking at that and not other things? I don't know. But
nobody knows.
It was late, but there was you could just see his confidence. It's just so obvious. Like, when you're confident and you have a swagger, it's just a different level of play. And when you're just kind of sulking and insecure and not feeling the same, you can see it. It's tangible with your eyes. And he was different tonight.
Yeah, I think, we talked about this as well. The minutes police, maybe were right earlier in the season and last year that they were playing him too much. Maybe he was gassed. And look at this. He comes back from having about a week off of real time and he comes back and looks like Julius Randle again. Maybe he just needed a rest. Maybe he just needed, maybe he was really nicked up, like Tibbs said. I don't know. But you know what? This is why I was telling Knicks fans, just relax. I know it's one game, but I know they won 3 games in a row before he went down. I know they won that Pistons game with the bench, whatever. But the point is that Julius Randle makes the Knicks better. And for anybody to say that Knicks are better off without Julius Randle, they are crazy. It's just that simple, and it's just not fair. Also, people judge Julius Randle. People know Julius Randle is a number 2, right? And on a good team, a number 2 or a number 3 option, if they have like really big superstars, right? But they judge him as a number 1. He's paid as a number 2. People know he's a number 2, but they're judging him as a number 1 because he's a number 1 on this team. And it's just not, they're not grading him on the right scale. You know what I mean? This is not even Melo. Just relax, like lay off of the guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when Knicks fans just always need someone to pick on. One year it was Lance Thomas. Like, leave poor Lance Thomas alone. The guy hits that open elbow jumper and he gets a couple of rebounds. He's from New York. Leave him alone. Like, what are you picking on this guy for? He's not a star. It's just like, what are we doing here? It's Bobby Portis, and Bobby Portis next year wins a freaking championship. Is a big part of that team. It's just calm down. That's all I have to say. Just calm down.
I think part of it is because, Knicks fans are craving success and craving winning. And last year they got Julius Randle playing at an all NBA team second level, and they got used to that. And and if you're a fan, Randle gets a big contract. You're saying, why is he not performing the same way he was last year?
But it wasn't even that big of a contract. It wasn't a max contract.
I know.
$100 million, whatever dollars, but that's not a big deal in the NBA.
I get you, but it's this. Yeah. It's the idea that last season he was all NBA second team.
Yeah, he was.
That's a stage. That's all NBA second team.
Threshold.
He made it to that level, right? A lot of players do not do. So then to see the regression last year, there's a frustration level, and when there's bad body language, the Knicks fan who knows basketball in the city, knows their shit, is going to get frustrated. Like, here's an example of how people were all over how good Julius Randle was last year. Like, there was a tweet out that a prominent sports host said where he's having a better season than Chris Bosh ever did. And this idea of like, okay, Chris Bosh is Chris Bosh. You know, he wasn't a number one in Toronto. The team was good. They made the playoffs, but he needed to go pair up with some other guys that were pretty good to win the championship. My point being, if you're in your mind, you're saying that Randle is better than Bosh, then when you come to this, it's maddening. It's maddening if you're a Knicks fan.
Right. Well, that's another point, is that Knicks fans, they overrate their own players and their own team. There were guys, Knicks fans on Twitter and in maybe real life too. I mean, Twitter is real life, I guess, that were saying the Knicks can win 50, 55 games this year. They went 5-1. The people were dreaming like crazy dreams. And now that they're back to reality, what they are, which is a 40 to 49 win team, it's just, this is what they are. Why are you so crazy? The Knicks will be fine. They're going to be fine. They're only a few games out of the 6th seed. It's January 4th. When we're recording this, calm down. That's what I've been saying. The Knicks will be fine. Everybody's giving me crap the whole year about saying that. The Knicks will be fine. The Knicks will be fine. Everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. Look at this. Look at that. Donald J. Trump gets on this podcast. He starts talking trash about Julius Randle. How he's this, he's that. Like, can you calm down? Like, just calm down. Calm down. The Knicks have a lot of talent. Sometimes RJ Barrett's going to show up. Sometimes Julius Randle's going to show up. Sometimes Alec Burks is going to show up. Sometimes Obi Toppin is. Sometimes Quickly's going to give you 30. Just relax. This team is talented. And then Derrick Rose will come back eventually too.
Yeah, I think there's three parts that I'm going to talk to you about this I think are interesting. One, the East is better. The Eastern Conference has improved. The Cavs have made a jump. The Bulls have made a jump. The Bucks are there. The Nets are there. The Celtics are in the same tier. But the whole Eastern Conference on a whole, the Raptors are a little bit better. The Hawks have taken a step back. But the Eastern Conference on a whole has gotten a lot better. And I think for the Knicks fan that saw their team make it to the 4 seed, fine's not good enough. They wanted great. I'm like, that's
crazy.
Now, was it crazy talk to think that the Knicks were that caliber of a team? Yes, of course it was. But that's what happens. I mean, you drink your own Kool-Aid because you love your team. And I say that, excited. You were wrong. You say that in a passionate way. I thought the Giants were going to win the NFC East. I think I was wrong about that. Clearly, I made some missed calls over there.
Yeah, a little off.
So my point, but fine wasn't good enough, and realistically, it wasn't where it should have been. That's not where it is. And then number 3, you say sometimes this guy will be good, sometimes that guy will be good. They need those sometimes to mesh together, or they're not going to win more games. Evan Fournier and RJ Barrett combined for 32 points tonight. RJ Barrett had 32 of them. Like that, Evan Fournier has got to be better.
He's running cardio out there. He's running cardio. Yeah, that's
crazy, man. His inconsistency. I mean, Kemba Walker out, Evan Fournier out. That $1 million backcourt's not even getting run, which again just brings me back originally to it's about what Barrett and Randle can do on the court ultimately for their success. But I think you need those sometimes guys to gel sometimes, and not be so inconsistent. And then you won't be 18 and 20 fighting for the 10 spot.
Right. And it also, Derrick Rose being out is a big deal as well. We talked about that early in the season, how he might be the most important player on the team, not the most valuable player, but the most important player to the team. He's just that cog that the players look up to. He's Derrick Rose to them, so it's a big deal. It's just that, prisoner of the moment fans, they get stuck in there, they lose 3 in a row. They want to jump off a bridge and they win 3 in a row. They were going to the championship. We're posting standing photos on Twitter. It's just, you can't trade everybody when you go through a losing streak, because then when you have a bad 2 weeks and then, like a lot of these thirsty content creators want to come out here and just get clicks and this and that. And so they send out all these trade ideas and people get all excited. This guy, Kit Randall, should be in the G League. He wouldn't even be allowed to play in Kentucky. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, just calm down. Like, and if you make all these trades, like let's trade Fournier, let's trade this guy, like Evan Roberts on the podcast, on our podcast last week, where he was like, you can't trade a guy when his value is low. You're not going to get anything for him. And he's right. It's just like, the Knicks are so close. They're right there. They're not, Fizdale record where they're like 4 and 18 or something, like some weird area code. Like, they're not that, you know what I mean? They're 3-ish games out of the 6th seed. And I know they're 10, 11, whatever they are right now. I don't know what the final standings are after 11. Tonight. And but they're so close to even the 5th seed. 1 5 or 6 game winning streak, which is not out of the realm of possibility with the Knicks. They're right there, and it's January 4th. Give this another month. Let's get to the trade deadline. Let's see where we're at. And then we'll go from there. But until then, calm the hell down. Just calm down. And for me, being the one, as the kind of fan that I am, to be the one to tell people to calm down, people are panicking. like obscure, like ridiculously, like out of control panicking. And I just don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense. They're just chill out. You can't bench all the veterans because they had bad 2 games. You can't play all the rookies because they played good in whatever, a few minutes here or there. Like Tibbs said the other day in the press conference, I sent that to you. He's like, it's like everybody loves the backup quarterback. It's true. The most popular player for the Eagles during the McNabb era was Ty Detmer. Like, you know what I mean? It's just calm down. Like, just relax.
Well, should I be relaxed? Well, should I be relaxed about the Nets 3-game losing streak? Should I be alarmed?
I think you should relax. Yes. I think you should be calm. Yeah. I think you should and it's not about Kyrie coming back to play in his 20, 25 games or whatever it's going to be. It's just the Nets are fine, man. They got the talent. They're like, you said it to me the other day, we were texting, and it's just, they're just going through a lull right now. It's just kind of one of those, they need a kick in the pants, and maybe Kyrie's that jolt for them that gets them going. I was joking with you, and I think with Spen on Twitter, that Kyrie's going to drop 50 tomorrow and then retire. just come out, just drop 50 and retire, walk off, peace out, screw you and your vaccines, I'm out of here, kind of a thing. So
I'm super excited. I mean, who the hell with Kyrie? You never know. I mean, he's that talented of a player, and I'll tell you right now, if the Nets lose to the Pacers tomorrow, I'm going to be in a really shitty
mood. My God, I forgot to play in the Pacers. That'd be so
yeah, I'm going to be in a real shitty mood because it's Pacers. Now, it is in Indiana, but it's on a back-to-back, the
That's
Pacers.
So weird. They made them fly when they're playing the Knicks tonight. They're going to fly back to Indiana and play the Nets. Like, that just the scheduling thing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, don't ask me. And the Nets have their whole new schedule thing from the games that were missed. But, yeah, I mean, it's the return of Kyrie Irving. It does fit the narrative. Oh, Nets are struggling. Here comes Kyrie. Like, it's just the timing of it is impeccable. So
but I thought he was coming back because they were short of COVID. They had all the COVID players.
I think he's coming back.
It was because they need him. Yeah, no, it was just a lie. It was a lie.
Because of course it was a lie. I mean, of course it was a lie. Like, he's Kyrie Irving, man. He holds the cards when he's that good of a player. So he's going to be back, and we'll get to see it. And I think I texted this to you because this was always so funny to me. People always were so concerned with if Kyrie Irving and James Harden could gel in the backcourt. They're so, like, we had Ryan Hickey on, and they were telling me they were the same player. They're not the same player. They're different players. And the issue has been Harden and Durant have not seemed to gel as much, and they're clearly different players on the court. While Kyrie and Harden, they're fine. They were great last year. The Nets' best regular season version were those two. And we only saw the 3 of them 8 times or whatever it was in the regular season. So here it is, Kyrie Irving, the part-time player. But I'll preach this to Net fans who are listening. When you hear other people and other fans say he's just part-time, they make jokes, they have Twitter this, they Twitter that, you got to be laser focused and not care. It's about him coming back, and it's about the Nets' growth. It doesn't matter. The jokes aside, it doesn't matter. It's about what can they do and how do they balance this and how do they figure it out. That's what matters. And we talked about it when the season started. Oh, Kyrie's not back. Will he come back? Will this change? Will this not change? Will the Nets change their mind? Will Kyrie get vaccinated? Et cetera, et cetera. It is January 4th. The playoffs start mid-April. January, February, March, April. You're telling me in 4 months from now, there's not going to be anything different if it's public health, if it's rules and laws, if it's Kyrie Irving, something will be different. I promise you that. What it is, who knows? It's impossible to predict the future right now. But laser focus, Kyrie's back, stay in your Nets world bubble and move forward and don't worry about the bullshit.
No, and that's true. With COVID, things are changing. It used to be 2 weeks. Now it's 5 days. You don't know what, like, the COVID is just the ever-changing world. We thought we were done, and now we're not. Now we're getting back into the thick of it, and we're just, what's happening with this world? But Kyrie coming back actually made me happy, Mike. Did you know that? It actually made me happy. You know why?
Because you bet the Nets to win the title.
No. Because it finally exposed the Nets as the frauds that they are. They're not longer the good morale team in New York anymore. Yeah. The good morals. I'm sorry, not morale. They have good morale, but they don't have good morals anymore. They're not the team that, oh, look at how the Knicks are doing it. Their owner is such a scumbag, and they're kicking their player out of the arena and this and that. But look at the Nets. They did everything right. They built this culture. They got the stars. And then they didn't even let Kyrie play because he refused to get vaccinated. They don't want a part-time player. Then, they're struggling. Oh man, let's blame it on all the players are out with COVID. But oh no, actually, by the time it comes back,
yeah. Well, I think you're
we're out with COVID, but let's bring an unvaccinated player in here. You know what I mean? It's just funny to me. I don't really care. It just made me laugh, and it was just made me happy because I'm finally like, nobody can lie anymore on TV and be like the Nets are the good team because they're phonies. It's just total phonies and frauds in that regard.
You're living in the 2019 world, Nets.
I am.
Where that was the narrative.
2019 Knicks also. Knicks fan too.
And you're holding the grudge onto them. I don't think anybody at this point is saying the Nets are the guys doing it right. I think they're now making other jokes about them. It's now changing into going in a different direction.
Turning, yeah. No,
I don't think anybody who would tell you that the Nets and the Net fans haven't sold their soul to the devil to win a championship. The Nets aren't the good guys anymore. I mean, I go on Twitter and I see talk shows. Everybody wants to bash the Nets and find a way to do it. And they're looking for ways to do it. And they have totally switched the script on that. I hear you on, people
makes me happy.
Say that, of course, they're nonsensical. But like I said, Net fans, stay focused. That doesn't matter.
Don't listen to me.
Because Kyrie is back and he's here. And yes, it's only going to be at the road games where the Nets are 11-3 or 12-3 on the road, which is ridiculous. But he's back. And yeah, of course the Nets are. I'm happy they did it. I am on the record of saying I want him to be a part-time player. You know why? Because part-time, like if you're unemployed and they say you want a part-time job, is it as good as a full-time job? No, but you can make money. So that's still good, right? And then maybe I'm getting a little nuanced.
Get your foot in the door. Always take the temp job when you're struggling. Take the temp job, get your foot in the door. You're in front of the person. You might get hired full-time. That's how it happened in my career, in my real job in finance. Get your foot in the door and then, you get fucking hired.
Yes. So you can say
you're just a person on the street. Yeah, I know.
So Kyrie's, I know you got scared. You're like it's fine. So yeah, he's part time.
It was a soft fuck. Yeah, it was a soft.
So
fuck.
if GM Kevin Durant says he likes what he sees, he'll make him full time.
Right. No, it's true. But I'm curious. So there's about 25 games left, right, for the Nets on the road. So give or take, let's say, right, and. I was looking it up. I actually did research for this episode since have been out for 3 weeks. So they played twice the Knicks, once against Golden State, once against Sacramento, once against Washington. I don't know. Are they allowed to play on the away games if he's not vaccinated? Because I know Beal was able to play against the Knicks at the Garden earlier this year.
That's a good question.
Is Kyrie allowed to play against the Knicks twice? Because then it's only about 20 games he's going to be available for, 18 games, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I don't know because the COVID rules keep changing.
Well,
So I'm sure he would play, but that's so hypocritical overall that he could play at the Garden, but he can't play in Brooklyn. That doesn't make sense.
Well, the whole thing is so dumb because if the whole idea is for safety, then he shouldn't be. Then Beal should not have been allowed to come into Brooklyn, etc. It should be about what's safe for everybody. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. That'd be a good question. Nets people listening, let me know. I'd be fascinated to hear about that. But yeah, that would be taking away a couple of games. I mean, what the Nets are going to do, though, is they're going to figure out. They've already, they've got a big board out and they've kind of sketched out some.
They
plans
talked to Adam Silver already. They know the deal. They know what they need to do. They're not stupid. I mean, I like to say they are, but they're not. They already talked to the executive office to see what they can do. And
no, the Nets aren't. The Nets run a good operation. I mean, if you want, they know what they're like. They got.
They don't have good morals anymore. No more good morals.
No more good morals. I mean, no more good morals. The morals are gone. The morals have disappeared. I mean,
the good team culture, these cute little Nets. Yeah, no, that's gone. That's all gone.
No, that's over, man. But I mean, you don't
care anymore. At this point, you're in too deep now.
You're in too deep. No. At this point, I now have daydreams of the playoffs. I have done this in my head. I'm actually daydreaming of spots in the playoffs and thinking about it. I do this when I work out to get me a little juiced up and just thinking about, can this team win a championship? And, when you're in these 3-game losing streaks, it does feel like it is so funny. You're so right, to get back to what you said before. When you're in it, it's like I saw people going, this team can't be beat. What are they going to be like when they have Kyrie? And then it goes to, they're never going to win another game. this team is screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think Coach Nash made mistakes not playing some of the rookies, and he admitted it. He knows he's wrong. Like you saw, they were down 28. They cut it to 11. I understand in the fourth quarter, teams kind of like turn off the gas, but the Nets played hard with those rookies. And it was like the tweaking. If you could just put Cam Thomas in to pick up that energy, it's wild that this is my critique. How could Cam Thomas be in the rotation? He gets COVID and then he's out of the rotation when everybody's back. Like what
doesn't make any
what
sense.
Is going on? There's only so much you can take. He was playing so great with those guys. Why was he out of the rotation? It just is the stubbornness of guys sometimes is maddening. And that one was maddening.
Yeah, no. Well, so you said to me yesterday, you think the biggest thing that the Nets are missing is outside shooting and probably Joe Harris.
That'll help. Kyrie will help.
Is Joe Harris going to come back anytime soon, or is he kind of just out?
No update soon, but probably in the next 1 to 2 to 3 weeks ish. I mean, he'll be. I mean, he helps them space the floor. You see it. You see it when they're on the court, and it's like Javon Carter, James Johnson. These guys can't shoot. And then what happens is when Patty Mills is on, the Nets have been unstoppable. When Patty Mills misses shots, they don't win games, and they need Joe because I think playoff wise, Patty will be more valuable. But I think they need Joe because their bench has been non-existent and can't make shots, and it's been a problem. It's been a problem for them, Alex.
Yeah. Well, Well, do you think that they would make a trade for like a shooter or or anybody like that to just add like a player, like a real player? Because I picked up 4 guys. I saw 4 guys that I think that you might like, but I'm not sure if you're thinking that you would think about these guys.
Who do you
guys
have?
are on
Let me hear.
Not very good teams or just teams that, are just in the abyss, like that middle area that you never know. So let's see. Let me know what do you think about this? Devontae Graham from the Pelicans, he's playing better this year. He's hitting about 3-4 threes a game.
He hit that 80-foot shot. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. No.
Oh, off the shot. Maybe you were.
I must have been in Hawaii. I must have missed it. Yeah.
Oh, someone from the Thunder hit a shot. I don't remember who it was, and it was a crazy sequence in 11 seconds where the Pelicans went up, then the Thunder went down the court, took the lead, and then they inbounded to Graham, who basically threw the ball the full court and won it. It was unbelievable sequence. Look that up.
Crazy.
Zach Noble had a good tweet of it.
I will. I'll look that up. Yeah, Zach's a man.
I'd be down for Graham. Absolutely.
So Devontae Graham, and that's a gettable guy. You know what I mean? It's a short, he's a little point guard, flex combo guard,
Let me just add this into the conversation too. The other problem for the Nets is they don't have a backup point guard right now. Patty Mills can't run the point.
And
Javon Carter's been brutal. And then when James Harden comes out, it's been bad. Now having Kyrie back, he's not their true point guard, but when Harden goes out, obviously he can run the offense.
In away games. Yes. But what about Terrence Ross, who Magic suck? We'll probably move that to deadline, but he'll probably be expensive considering he's a guy that people would want.
He'd be a guy.
I don't know contracts right now.
Right.
I'm just giving you guys because we're not going to do. Right go ahead.
He sounds right in the tier. Sure.
Okay. Then guy that could be really gettable, Eric Gordon. Rockets are terrible and he's been injured on and off, but I feel like he's a guy that's going to get bought out or traded. I don't know what his contract is either. That'd be somebody that you would like, right? Or you don't know?
He's in the mold. That sounds about right. That sounds
Hit
right.
An open shot.
You're hitting it. And I got the fourth one is Robin Lopez.
No, fourth one is Marcus Morris. It would hurt me a little bit inside in my soul a little bit if he signed with the Nets or if he's traded the Nets. I know he's got 2 more years. He's getting paid $15 to $18 million a year. Yeah. But the Clippers are just this like weird team and this Kawhi's out. Is he coming back? It's just like maybe they decide to just dump him and try to get an expiring contract if they have one. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass here because I don't know about that. I'm not doing the trade machine. I'm just getting guys. That was the one that was the outside the box one,
Obviously, I'd love if the Nets were to get him, but I doubt that because the Clippers are still in their theoretical window. When Kawhi comes back, George is out right now. But if he comes back, I don't think you're trading him to the Nets because he's a guy. I mean, he's a very capable scorer, can shoot from the outside. Yeah, I would be thrilled. I don't know. That would have to be the Nets.
That'd be a bigger trade.
The problem is the Nets
4-team trade. Yeah,
the players that they're going to want are going to be Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton, and at this point, trading Nick would be a terrible idea.
Not for Marcus Morris, for sure.
I mean, Nick Claxton's he's been awesome over the last week too. So
you got to get like Blake Griffin kind of guys, which is kind of like Eric Gordon. Somebody like that is probably a guy to target, or like you said, Robin Lopez or somebody like that. But I was looking for like the guy who can hit the open shot, the three.
And you speak of, everybody was talking about the Pacers about a month ago when they were like, "Oh, we're open for market." And everybody, I talked about this a little bit. I think you were gone, and it was with Dolan J. Trump, and it was this like love fest for the Pacers, and it was so.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was like, you realize a couple of things. The Pacers aren't good. Like, look at they're not.
Right.
Mike Breen brought this up. It was a good point that they're like 1-10 in close games. So that does make a difference. But they're just a team that's not very good. So just like this, like love fest for our Pacers because Miles Turner had one good game versus your team. Things were getting out of control. But then also I did this, Alex. I went on a Knicks Spaces because they lost, and I just wanted to enjoy their pain.
Did you get called out? You get called out. There's a Nets
fan.
But then
I had to go. House? No, I did get called out, but I had to leave. But it was like, yeah, we should get Sabonis and Turner. But at the same time, I don't want to give up Toppin. I don't want to give up quickly, and I can't give up picks. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, then go get Eric Gordon. Yeah.
How are you getting? I was like, you realize there's got to,
No, you're not getting
to work like that.
And Miles Turner,
I don't know what to tell you.
Miles Turner isn't that great. I mean, he's okay. He's a good player. If he was available to sign or they got him for nothing, sure, I'd take him. But he's not that great. I'm not trading Mitchell Robinson for him. I don't know what Mitchell Robinson is yet. He's they got to sign him next year, but he's not going to get big money. He's not going to get a big contract next year. He's not there right now. So, the Knicks can sign him. And it's going to be an affordable deal, let's say, deal for a couple of years. And then he's going to want to re-up because he want to reprove himself. But he needs to get paid. Like he's getting nothing right now. He's a second round pick, So I think they'll bring him back on a reasonable deal. But I'm not trading it for Miles Turner because he shows flashes. I mean, it's just the flashes. It's eventually they have to become what's the opposite of a flash? It's just, whatever. They have to become a real movie, that has to become, not a news flash, a real story. You gotta eventually put it together. And, he has his moment. He might just be a sixth man, but, I talk about this all the time over the years. At some point, you just got to keep your guys. Sure. Mitchell Robinson might not be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but you know what? He can be a really good defensive athletic center that can block shots and grab some boards and intimidate in the paint. And you're going to need one of those guys when you trade him for Miles Turner, for somebody else. Not Miles Turner, but just whoever, when you just trade him just to trade him. The trading guys just to trade him are the reason why the Knicks have been bad for the most part of 20 years, right? They haven't been bad every year of 20 years. They were made the playoffs in Melo. They made the playoffs last year, whatever. But that's why these stupid mistakes, they trade these guys just to trade them. And that's the problem. Like if RJ Barrett doesn't become a superstar, but he becomes an 18-7 guy, that's our guy that can get a defensive stop. So be it. He'll be our guy. That's that guy. Instead of going out like, oh man, I wish we really had a guy that can get a stop in the, it's just, well, you had him, unless you're getting me Steph Curry, which you're not. On that level, who is that guy now? Is nobody. There's nobody right now that's gettable in a trade that's going to change your franchise. It's not Dame Lillard. Just chill out. This team is good. You got assets. You still have picks. You still have flexible contracts. Fournier stinks, but you know what? You can dump him somewhere. People said Russell Westbrook was untradeable and he got traded the next year. So it's just calm down. Okay. This team is good. The Knicks are good. They're in a good spot. And somebody tweeted out today that the Knicks are still rebuilding, even though they made the playoffs last year. They're still rebuilding and they are. So just chill. Just chill out. That's all I have to say. That's my public service announcement.
I don't know if Mitch resigns. And I think he does it because I think someone will be willing to spend money on him. And that's where I disagree with you. I think somebody will spend money on him and take a chance. And I think the issue will be, can the Knicks afford in their rebuild to say, all right, are we going to give this much of the pie to Mitchell Robinson based on track record, based on injuries,
potential?
And is that the investment we make based on everything else we have? Because I think someone will pay for Mitch Robinson. I don't think it'll be as simple as, all right, here's 2 for 10. Like, let's
no. You have to pay him, but you're not gonna, you're not someone's gonna pay him. Yeah. Well, then you have to think about it this way. He's still young. He wasn't really in college. He was only out of high school 1 year when he came into the pros, obviously. So like, you could sign him for a reasonable deal. Let's say $15-18 million a year. And then he's a tradable contract if you have him, that you can get a real star if somebody becomes available in a couple of years when you don't even see coming, but then he's just but I'm just trying to say, like, he's our guy. I know I know you shouldn't trade guys when their value's low. You got to look when the iron's hot, maybe sign and trade, whatever. Obviously, if there's a deal out there, fine. But don't just like let him go for nothing just because you're worried about the salary cap. Like, give me a break. The teams that tank for the salary caps and the stuff like that of the teams is just what we've just been doing. It's just try to keep building your team, keep building your team, and then eventually pounce. Like, it's just what Riley always does with the Heat. He's never tanking. He just has these guys, every now and then you have to tank. Like Knicks were in a situation where, I'd be a hypocrite if I said they shouldn't tank ever. There's a situation. Zion, you think it's a generational talent. LeBron James, you think if you're in position to tank, you do it. But for the most part, guys like Riley, guys like Mark Cuban with the Mavericks, he's never trying to tank, like never really trying to. They're always trying to put a good product out there, and then eventually they'll hammer through, make a big deal. They'll get Shaq. The Heat will get Shaq. The Mavericks will play the Heat in the finals and scare them and win with Dirk out of nowhere. And this is why we're here. Just keep your guys, keep your talent, and see what happens. That's what I'm saying. It's okay sometimes to be middle of the pack and just be a respectable organization for a couple of years instead of like, now let's just play the kids, forget the vets. Let's trade everyone. When you trade all these vets that are average vets, you're going to get average vets back. Like you're just going to be the same team, just with different guys. Just let these guys expire. Get these. I don't know, man. I'm rambling.
I think you understand. Nerlens Noel contract though looks bad.
How long is he signed for? I don't even know.
I think it was 3 years.
Let's see. Now you got me. But he's a good player. He's just been hurt.
Yeah,
but he's always, that's his whole career though, I guess.
Yeah. If you could deal guys like that to a contender.
Yeah. So 3 for 27. So he's getting with a club option. So it's really just 2 more years, this year and next year. Yeah.
Next year.
Only 8, 9 mil. That's not that bad. No, that's tradable for sure. Because Noel is the defensive guy, but that's the Mitchell Robinson insurance right there. You let Mitchell Robinson walk, or you sign and trade him if you can. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. The salary cap is so confusing. Then you have Noel in your back pocket. And then, of course, you bring back Taj on a Walker next year. I'm just kidding. But there's guys out there, or Jericho Sims takes a step next year. Who knows? But, you don't really need a center. But if Mitchell Robinson is that guy who's just he's like an athletic freak. And you saw that reverse alley-oop dunk tonight that he had. It's just, he's blocking shots. He's grabbing boards. He only had 8 rebounds and 8 points, but you feel like he dominated the game down the stretch, and it's just, you need guys like that. You need your guys, but that's all I have to say.
But you also, but it's strike while the iron's hot, because yes, you need your guys, but if you have the opportunity to trade for a point guard from Houston, you have to say, I got to give up my guys. But it's crazy too. Like I look at that trade, Jared Allen is developed. I mean, he's going to be the starting center for the East in the All-Star game. And he's 22 years old. Yeah, oh, yeah. This him. He's leading the votes. There's no one else. It's him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's clearly him. It's him. And
then
so
becomes a better trade. Well, I guess it's not. Yeah, it becomes a better trade than it looked at first, which you can't ever judge trades right away, like the Porzingis trade. You can't judge it right away. You know, you have to wait. Like the Marc Gasol trade, Kwame Brown. Everybody thought it was Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown. And then Marc Gasol was a throw-in in that deal, and he became a franchise player for the Grizzlies. So it wasn't a bad trade. Yeah, the Lakers won 2. They handed the Lakers 2 titles, right? But at the same time, the Grizzlies became a solid organization because of that trade. So it's just, you never know with trades in the NBA.
Yeah, man. I hope that's what the scenario is with the Cavs and the Nets. And the Nets made the Cavs a good franchise, and the Cavs handed over the Nets a couple of championships. I would sign up for that. Immediately,
just get one.
I would
right?
do
That's
that.
All. Just give you one for now.
Man, I just long way to go, Alex. It's January. It's a long way to go, and you got to remember, ups and downs. It is a regular season. That's the way it goes. You did have a good time on your honeymoon. It was fun. Did. You look good.
I'm a little tan.
Was it tough coming back?
Oh my god!
Not the trip itself, the
trip itself sucked. Yeah, no, but it was weird coming back. But because of the way I came back, it was a little easier. So I had a flight which was 11:45 p.m. on December 30th, Hawaiian time. So that's really 4:45 a.m. New York time, right? So I was supposed to fly out of Hawaii at 11:45 p.m. And then we're supposed to get to Phoenix, say hi to Devin Booker, get an hour and a half layover, and then get on the plane and come to Newark Airport, which is a hellhole, by the way. And so, but in Hawaii, in Maui, I'm getting mad. New Jerseyans coming out of you. You got
we'll go back to that. because I
Fine.
have a lot to say on that.
So I'm in Maui and we're at the airport and we get to the plane. We're there, plenty of time. It's like 11 o'clock. They said we're going to start boarding soon. And we get to the gate and all the flight attendants and the pilots are just standing by the gate and they're not on the plane. And I'm like, now it's 11:15. We're still taking 11:45. I was like, they're still standing there. I'm like, I don't think we're leaving. Like, they're not even on the plane. And then somebody like says in the crowd, like, there's a rumor that the plane has no gas. And like, we're like, oh, well, I don't think we can go anywhere. If the plane has no gas.
It has to fly.
Yeah. And then we get on the plane and then they set us, the pilot goes, hey, we're all set to fly, but we have no gas. We're trying to get the gas over here. There has been a delay here, and that's why the flight before us was delayed. But once the gas gets here, it'll take another 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, are you, so now, because I'm looking at the clock, like I'm going to miss my layover, and I know my day is screwed. So make a long story short, we take off about an hour and 45 minutes late. We land in Phoenix. They throw us on a flight to Chicago. Then we get to Chicago. We go from Chicago to Newark. We land at like 9:30 p.m. So now, mind you, we left at 4:45 a.m. New York time. We landed at 9:45 p.m. and our bags don't come off the plane. So we go to the bag guy. We're like, where are our bags? He's like, oh, they never got on your flight to Chicago. They're actually coming in from Phoenix on this flight that lands at 10:30. So I'm like, God. So I wanted to leave, but my wife now, Hannah, said, no, let's just wait another hour and a half. So I'm sitting in the airport watching the Knicks game on New Year's Eve on my iPad. It was a smart move, but I was thinking also like maybe the bags aren't going to be there, and then we're just waiting another 2 hours. We're going to miss the new year. We're, whatever. Because we have all these plans to get pizza. We were supposed to be home by 4 o'clock. Now it's 9:45 and we're sitting in the airport. And so whatever, we get our bags, we get in the Uber at like 11:15. At Newark. We get home to the city at like 11:45. We order a pizza. We see the ball drop. We watch the rest of this movie we're watching on the plane and we go to sleep. And because of that, I'm back on New York time right away because I only slept like 3 hours that entire day. So
maybe
I was
it
able
was
to
a blessing in disguise with that.
But it was a crazy day. It was a crazy day.
Yeah, no,
but back to Newark
awful.
Airport. Newark Airport is awful. Speaking of awful.
Well, see that you're taking one part you were in and quantifying that as the entire airport. I don't think that's fair.
Well, I was texting you, but for the audience, Newark Airport, we're flying to Hawaii, right? And we get there, we're taking United, and it's a straight flight. We pay for first class, splurge for first class, it's the honeymoon. And we get there, we get dropped off at the economy level, and the economy level at United Airport in Newark is like the gates of hell. I don't know if anybody's ever been there.
That's a bad gate.
And I'm sitting there, me and Hannah, we've never been to Newark Airport. We're both Long Island people. We fly to JFK or LaGuardia. We live in the city. We have no reason to ever go to Newark Airport. I mean, I've flown in there before, but I've never taken off from there. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We're just like, what is happening right now? We found, first class upstairs. We went up there. It was a little better, but the security line was hell. It was just, that was insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah, well, it's also it's the holiday time, so everything's gonna be magnified for bad flying, and you're in a bad spot. So I have only had great experiences flying out of Newark. There's great restaurants, great places, good places to hang. I love it, and I've always, from my perspective, been like, who in their right mind would ever want to fly out of LaGuardia? Oh my goodness!
That's the worst airport in the neighborhood.
So I'm thinking this, and I'm hearing this, and it's pissing me off. It's legit getting me mad, and I know that you know that because you know me and you know my passion for things that I like. So I will defend the airport, and I'm not going to say it's Newark Airport. Like, holy shit, what a great place to spend your vacation.
It's an airport.
Yeah. It's an airport. I get that, but there are good spots in Newark. And it just shows, I mean, it's just New Yorkers when they leave their little bubble. They just don't know what they're doing.
No, I mean, and my experiences in New Jersey, being a Long Island guy, I mean, I lived a lot of places, lived upstate, lived in Queens, I live here, I live there, I live in the city, whatever. But I never lived in New Jersey. But my experience in New Jersey is now Newark Airport, the Meadowlands, and Atlantic City. So that's my frame of New Jersey. You came
to my area.
I'm just kidding. I've been in New Jersey a million times. I'm only kidding. But that's what a lot of people feel.
Offensive. I went to the first time I went to Long Island, because I never went there. I was seeing a girl and didn't whatever. And she wasn't exactly truthful about things. And I don't mean like between us together, but like just made up lies about her life. Just
she was a fabricator.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll never forget, like I went there with a friend and somebody said something, and all of a sudden a couple of guys just started coming after me. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And something was said that wasn't true. And I was like, I am never coming back. I come here and someone just wants to kick the shit out of me for no reason.
I'm going back to New Jersey.
It's like, my goodness gracious. That was my first memory. But I lived in Long Island for a couple of years. I liked Huntington a lot. I loved Huntington. It was just tough for us because it's far away from family.
No,
it takes 7 hours to leave the island.
And the Long Island Expressway sucks. But, but you're getting mad about Newark Airport and getting defensive about New Jersey is exactly why I would get mad about you saying, I went to a Knicks game once and some guy in the crowd said Latrell Sprewell isn't playing. Is he? Like a couple of years ago, you said some kind of joke or something.
That's what he said. That wasn't the joke. That was
you said, I didn't remember what it was. It was a joke.
The guy didn't know it was basketball.
Right. But then you're generalizing all Knicks fans as this one idiot in the stands that never watched a Knicks game since 1999. And you're judging all of Knicks fans. So I'm judging Newark Airport as the gates of hell. And everything else in New Jersey is either Atlantic City or the Meadowlands. That's how I look at it. So everybody has like that, have you ever been on that ski lift outside the Meadowlands, by the way, that indoor?
I have not been in there.
Or what about the water park?
I delivered Uber Eats one time there. That was really difficult. Because the whole GPS was
oh my God, it's the worst
all over the place.
I don't understand the security at the Meadowlands for Jets and Giants. Like, I feel like they don't know what they're doing. Everybody go this way. And it's just like, there's nobody moving that way. Can't I just go this way? It's open. I don't care where I'm going. Just get me out of this parking lot. Like, nope, you have to go all the way around through the arena and come back. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that was the beauty of net games. No one there.
Yeah, no one cared. Exactly.
It was easy. the people that were there cared, but there were just not many of them to care.
Yeah.
So you have
a different perception of the Meadowlands than I do growing up.
Yes,
going to Jets games.
True. Yes,
you know the football.
I went to a Giant Jets game on Halloween, and we left at the game ended at 4 or something, and we were home at like 9 o'clock.
What year was that?
Oh, it was a long time.
The Giants home game, right? It was a Giants home game.
I couldn't tell you this. I think the Jets won the game. Mm-hmm. I was a kid. I was a little kid.
It was probably a Giants.
I didn't go to a lot of football games. I don't remember that enough.
I went to every Jets game, as you know, the season tickets. So for my life, if that was a home game, I was there, but I don't remember that. So at the Halloween, that would stick out.
Or maybe I'm making up stories. I don't know.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
I could have combined stuff together too. That is fair. I do
have a lot of random things like with the Jets, but the Jets story, they were watching the Jets game. Braxton Berrios is crushing it against the Bucks, and of course the coaches blow the game, but. They put up a stat. They're like, oh, Braxton Barrett is the first Jets player to ever receive a receiver to have a Jets receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown, something like that. I'm like, that's a lie because Keyshawn Johnson did that in the 99 playoffs, like in the 98 season. He had a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown. And at the end of the game at a Hail Mary, he got an interception, so it was just like the most incredible game. And I was a huge Keyshawn fan. He broke my heart when he demanded a trade. That's another story as a young Alex, but I was at that game. And that was incredible. That was a big party. That was the one time that one of my teams that I really felt could win a championship. That was like legit, like obviously 94, 99, the Knicks, the Mets in 2006, I had a feeling, but they blew it, but there was the 98 Jets where that was my one team. And that was Testaverde set the touchdown record. I was mad Fitzpatrick broke that, it's just that was my team. And I would never forget a stat from that year.
No, good job. Good job getting that right. You made me laugh when you talked about young Alex.
It was a playoff game.
Having his heart crushed
by Keyshawn Johnson.
By Keyshawn. Yeah. The only memory I have of that when a player left and I was just crushed, like too old for this too. Like too old. I'm in college, so too old for this. But when Kenyon went to the Nuggets, I was crushed. I was like, I was so upset about that. That really, but more than any player ever, him leaving like really bothered me.
Yeah, I mean, Ewing bothered me when he left, but he was also at the end of the road. You know what I mean? Right. So it was they should have just let him expire. But it wasn't like Kenyon had another 10 years left in him.
They didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, and he played well with the Nuggets and then the Knicks, of course. But no, I mean the Keyshawn thing. I was a huge. I was part of the Keyshawn Kids fan club. I had a T-shirt with a little key on it that said Keyshawn Fan Club. I had all of his cards. I had newspaper clippings, magazines. I recently organized my cards, my basketball and football cards. You saw it when you came over that one time. And I have 2 pages of just Keyshawn Johnson rookie cards, just all Keyshawn stuff. And I would sell them in a second because I have no sentimental value of that. You know, I didn't even put them with my Jets cards. I'm like, they're going in the back. You know, it's just, you know, I just have that, you know, and then it bothers me when Keyshawn shows up on TV and he's like, that's my team. I'm like, oh, get the hell out of here, man. You're not Mr. Jet. You ran out of town the second you could. And that's why that win in Tampa with Curtis Martin throwing the touchdown to Wayne Corbett was so special, because you left and we beat you, but you ended up winning a Super Bowl and got the last laugh anyway, but whatever.
Oh man!
Like every ex-Jet leaves. John Vilma wins a Super Bowl. Revis wins a Super Bowl. All these guys leave and win Super Bowls with other teams, and we're just sitting here like, well, maybe one day.
Well, I don't think Sam Darnold will anytime soon.
No, I don't think he will.
He has not played well.
Or Jamal Adams. Well, Jamal Adams maybe. You know, never know with the Seahawks one day. That's
no, they are. That trade is a disaster. The Jets got
it
that
is.
One.
But if they keep Russell Wilson and then they turn it around, you never know with football.
I don't know. I think they're done.
They're toast.
Not that we're going to do a Russell Wilson Giants talk.
The Giants,
I think it's over. I think they're done.
They're going to blow it up.
I think they're going to blow it up. I think Carroll's gone. I think it's all over. I think it ran its course.
I want the Jets to trade for what's his name? The receiver. What the hell's his name? The guy with the crazy hair. I keep the M.
Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf. Thank you. That would be the guy to get, but they'll never trade him. He's just a monster. It's like Calvin Johnson reincarnated. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I know we have a poll question, and we have a Dolan J. Trump sponsored Bad Weather Fans jersey number trivia question as well. What do we do first? I don't remember. Is it the jersey? No, it's the poll question first.
Poll question first. I don't remember. We haven't done the poll question in a while because I had too many things going on. I needed a little break. But anyway, so okay. At Knicks Central, I'll do poll question every week, right? So Knicks fans, where will the Knicks be in the standings at the end of the season? 4th seed or above, 5th or 6th seed, 7th to 10th seed, which is a play-in, or 11th seed and below, out of the playoffs altogether. Where do you think? What do you think? Well, mind you, I put this tweet out yesterday, and it was a 24-hour tweet, like a 24-hour poll.
6 to 10.
No, 7 to 10 won with 63.2%.
7 to 10. Yeah, 7 to 10.
Yeah, 63.2%, 7 to 10, 19.5%, 11th seed or below. That was Mike and all his Net fans. 5th and 6th seed, 15.2%.
I retweeted it.
About 2%. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you did. And you know what? It's just shows that, you know, if I put that tweet out tonight, people would be like 4th seed and above. You know, it's so up and down, the ebbs and flows of the NBA season. And I also went back.
Eastern Conference Championship on there.
and I went back and I found some old poll questions from the beginning of the season. So like one was, oh
God,
you know, Nick said, what is your pre-training camp win prediction? And it was 40 to 49, won 65.2% of the vote, 50 to 59, 25% of the vote. So it's like, you were so pumped up about this team, 25% of you, which got a few hundred votes. It wasn't like some 20 people voted. And it's just, you were so excited about it, and you're the one who overrated this team. You know, they're a 45-win team, 47-win team. I forgot what I said, something like that, and they're going to be around that. You know what I mean? If everything worked out, they could have hit 50. If Fournier actually played like he could play, you know, maybe. If Kemba took a step, maybe. If RJ took a step, maybe. But they're not right now. So right now, this is what we're supposed to be.
I think the Knicks fan would tell you 45 to 47 seems a bit extreme at this point. Because they're 18 and 20. They have shown no signs of consistency. Mm-hmm. Their free agent signings have been a disaster. I know Kemba had some great games, but he's shown that he's injured. He's in and out of the lineup. He's inconsistent. There's going to be some nights with good Kemba. There's going to be some nights where he's not the same guy. Evan Fournier has been a bad signing. Nerlens Noel hasn't played. Derrick Rose is out. So then there's this feeling of, well, Obi Toppin's not getting minutes. It's the first time we've said the Obi word today. And then Randle and Barrett have just been so inconsistent. How can I feel good about it? But because tonight they paired together and combined for, 62 points or whatever. And the first time they did 30s together, you feel differently. But that's where I would say there's so many things that have been bad. Like, how are they going to leapfrog the Cavs? How are they going to do better than a team like that right now that has shown signs of growth? Like, how are they going to get past those teams? How are they going to get past the Hornets that have shown growth? The Celtics are kind of in the same situation and have just been meddling around 500. So that's to me would be the fear is, how are they going to get better than those teams?
I don't know. But you know what? crazy things happen.
I know it's definitely possible. I get that.
It's only 38 games into the season. We're almost halfway there. They're only 3 games out of the 6th seed right now, so it's just everybody. Oh no, 4 games, 5 and 6.5, 7 and 8.5. So no, they're 3 games out of the, I can't count. It's too late, but so just chill. You know what? Like a winning streak and you're right there. And that's it. One little winning streak. And then you're right there.
That's very true.
That's by next week, if we come back here and the Knicks roll off the next 3 or 4 games, whatever it is, by the next time we record, and the Knicks could easily be the 7th seed with a half game out of the 6th seed. And then what are we talking about next week? It's just,
it changes fast.
Relax is what I have to say.
Relax.
So a couple shout outs from the poll question. If you respond, I might read your response if you respond to the poll question on Twitter, I might read it on the podcast. I got that right? So we have Stefan Bishop at Stefan Bishop. He goes, "This post is triggering." So mind you, this is before the game tonight. Then we have Problematic Panda at Nope Not EBS. It's genuinely hard to say with COVID being so unpredictable. It's not like regular injuries. Teams are sometimes playing without almost a dozen players. That being said, I'm thinking we're a playing tournament team. It's a good point. COVID could change anything at any time. Jack, he's at Mets Troll 12 or 13, he says. So he's just trolling the Knicks as well because, come on. Let's see. Our boy Bobby B at Ruboy MYK. He goes 7 to 10 seed as it is with no changes. This is a play-in team. And then Scuba Steve, he's at M4TCH3SMA70NE. Got that, Mike? He goes,
it's Scuba Steve. It's from Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, one of my favorite movies. Goes, this team isn't making the play-in game. And that's, I don't know about Scuba Steve.
That one got me to laugh.
I'm Scuba Sam, Scuba Steve's brother. When he comes out in the suit and tries to get him to go to sleep. Yeah. Anyway, that's one of my favorite movies. For our boy Clone Daddy at Clone Daddy 1, I think 6th seed is still very doable, which it is. And then the last one at Luis MON 9907878. This team isn't good, guys. Love them, but they're not good, and it's sad. And that is obviously Mike's burner account. So that is the poll question.
The Knicks to me are not as good as you think they are, and not as bad as Knicks fans say they are. So I'm gonna play it right down the middle.
Is that the Parcells thing? Parcells has the best quotes with these kinds of things. You are what your record says you are, one. And you're not as good as your high. You're not as good as your worst. Something like that. I think it was Parcells. Somebody said it. Who knows?
Yeah. It's like
rest in peace, John Madden. Too, by the way.
It's true. Yes. R.I.P. John Madden for sure. It is true. Like the Bucks. Okay. They had their worst regular season in the last 3 years last year.
And they won the championship.
They got hot in the playoffs and they won the championship.
Honestly, I think they got derailed the most by that pandemic, the pandemic hitting and going to the ball. They were rolling going into the pandemic, and then it hit and they didn't have the home court. They were inexperienced and then it was just, they were done.
But still, I mean, the facts are the facts. Like,
yeah,
they had their worst regular season and they won the title. So do you think Buck fans remember the skid they had in February?
Of course
not. No. I think Net fans remember win. It's so tough in the moment for, I'll say this, it's going to sound very pretentious, but for title contending teams, it's like in these moments, you get down, you feel bad, but it's ultimately going to be judged on what happens once the playoffs start. Now, with that in mind, if the Nets lose 8 in a row and drop, out of the playoffs, I'm terrified. But you have a faith in this roster that it's good enough to get some wins again.
It's true. I have faith in them. And also, we forgot. I wanted to tell the story about the tweet that got on NBA TV.
My God. Yes, of course.
Totally forgot about that.
So did I. Shit. Yeah, go for that.
So Kiefer Sykes, no-name player. He's, 27 or whatever he is.
28.
Carving. Excuse me. Sorry. Cooney's will be so mad at you.
Sorry, I was looking up his stuff. Then I was after he started going off. I was like, let me look up his. Anyway, go for it. I'll shut up. He's 28.
It's 32 degrees and it's freezing. So yeah. So
sorry.
So I sent out this random tweet. The Knicks are letting Wanda Sykes beat them. I've seen it all. This defense sucks. And I did put about 12 seconds of thought into it. And right after that, I went into the bathroom. I shaved. I showered. And then I come out. I see a missed FaceTime call from my sister. I see my whole Twitter blew up. People texted me. I was like, what just happened? And I look at Twitter and it's just that they read my tweet on air and on NBA TV. And I think it was Channing Frye commented on it and they were laughing about it. Cause it's always the tweets that you put no thought into that just come, when I'm sitting there trying to type and trying to think of something and this is going to be funny. It gets like nothing. It's just never. It's always, it's so weird. So anyway, I had no idea that any of this is going on. I'm trying to and then I get out of the shower and I'm trying to get ready because I want to see the rest of the game. And then my dog is just being annoying. And it was just all like mayhem. And I had no idea what was going on. It was just really funny that, of course, the time that I'm not sitting around and watching TV and doing nothing is when something like that happens. But it was pretty cool. It was a fun moment.
Say I thought you were in the shower when that happened too, because I saw you're getting tweets. I sent you a text and there was no response. And I went, Alex is in the shower. I legit thought that.
We talk too much, man. We really do talk too much.
I was like, he's in the shower. He's definitely in the shower.
That was like that one time I couldn't find my phone. We were supposed to start the podcast a couple months ago. We were supposed to start the podcast. And it was like 5-10 minutes late. You're texting me, you're calling me. I'm like, I literally could not find my phone. It was just, and you're like, Alex is either dead or something really bad happened. Dead, I guess it's pretty bad, but
Yeah, that would be a bad scenario.
No, coming back from that. Yeah, no. It was funny though. Of course, I'm not paying attention. And thanks to everybody who took a screenshot and said, I'm famous now. I'm not famous, but thank you so much. That was really cool to have people on Twitter be nice for once. And so it was cool. Thanks, guys.
Did that get any followers for you? Did people see it on NBA TV and all of a sudden you got I
gained a few followers tonight, but not maybe 3 or 4. But what's funny? When I was away for 3 weeks from Twitter and on my honeymoon, and I deleted the app, I barely looked at it. I would just sometimes check just stats and news and stuff like that. I gained 10 followers in the 3 weeks I was gone, and I have no idea why. It was the weirdest thing.
You were tagged in a lot of. Well, you were tagged. There were a lot of Nets fans that tagged you and stuff.
Of course,
they were updating. They were updating you.
Yeah, they usually
see any of those.
I did not. I probably have those guys muted, to be honest, because they do the same thing over and over. Guys, I've admitted I was wrong about the rant. I've admitted so many things. It's just it's okay. I just don't care. You know what I mean? You can update me all day. It's funny to me. It doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It's just annoying. It's just all right, I don't need this clogging up my mentions that I can't see people actually trying to say something nice to me.
Of course.
Or
but when you're
engaging.
But
I'm that guy. I know.
You also have an Usher song on loop over Kyrie Irving being out. So it's Twitter. You could imagine why people would then, so it's part of the game. So at least you recognize that.
Oh yeah, I recognize. If I'm dishing it, I can take it. When people try to make up reasons to try to cancel me is when I get annoyed. That's when I get annoyed. Then I'm like, come on, guys, what the fuck are we doing? You're blocked. You're out of here. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Other than that, I just, you can do that all day. I'll just mute you and you can have fun. If I see you at a Nets game, I'm sure you'll just say hi. It's not a big deal.
There was that. This is another random story. There was one time I went to a Nets game, and somebody stomped on my dad's foot. This is. I'll save the story. We'll tease it. We'll tease it for next time.
Next week.
Next week. Why someone jumped on my dad's foot
on the next episode of Bad Weather Fans.
Yeah, right.
Well, Mike's dad's foot gets stepped on,
and Charles Barkley was on the Suns.
Yeah,
I have a weird memory, man. Yeah. Anyway, go for it. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay.
Shout outs.
No, that's it. So jersey number trivia. Yeah. So we're bringing this back. Jersey number trivia with Dolan J Trump at Dolan_J_Trump. Buy his merchandise, right? Buy his merch. He sends us. We first started jersey number trivia per episode, where it was episode number 22. I give Mike a net number 22. He give me a Nick 22. We try to guess, give each other.
Donnie Newman. Yep.
Yeah. Now Dolan J Trump, our president, Knicks president, he provides us with numbers. He gave me a Nets one to give to Mike, and Mike a Knicks one to give to me. So who wants to go first, Mike? Who's going first?
You pick.
I'll go first for you. I'll read yours because I think you're going to get this in 2 seconds. I told him that as well. So it's a lot of pressure.
And he said,
so be it. He struggles with Brooklyn. That's what he said to me.
So it's a New Jersey Net.
So, okay, ready?
Tricked you.
Well, you'll know it's Brooklyn based on the year. And he gives a clue. He wore number 7. Yeah, wore number 17 during the 2018-19 season, his only season in Brooklyn.
Jeremy Lin.
No. That was his number with the Knicks, by the way.
No, yeah, 18-19. Okay.
He played 81 games and made one start.
So 18-19. So right now we're in 21-22. So 2021 was when Durant was last season. That was the Eastern Conference Finals second round. 1920 was the bubble. So 18-19 was the year the Nets made the playoffs. He started 81 games.
No, he played 81 games and started one game.
Oh, okay. I was like, he started 81 games.
But he's obviously a big part of the team. He played 81 games. You know.
Yes. Yeah, I do struggle with the recent numbers. We do know that, but I'll figure this out.
You're gonna get this. He was drafted 13th overall by Toronto in the 2010 draft.
Oh man, now see, this is what happens. Oh, you
put too much pressure on you. Yeah,
and the Net fans like now because all the younger Net fans listen now, you're like, you idiot. Now I'm starting to feel it. Now I'm like Julius Randle last week.
Yeah.
Okay. He played in 81 games, and he was on that squad. I know that it was not 81 games. It's not Shabazz Napier.
No,
it's not. It's not Ed Davis.
It's Ed Davis.
Yeah, I just know that roster. It's Ed Davis. All right, I kind of backed into that, but let's hear the next one. He went to the same school as.
He's played for 8 other teams during his 11-year career, including the Lakers, Grizzlies, Jazz, Blazers, Cavs, Minnesota, and the aforementioned Raptors. With the Nets, he averaged nearly 6 points and over 8 boards.
That would have been
played. He played because he's a great rebounder, Ed Davis.
Yeah.
He played college ball at the same university as Ed Cota, Sean May, and Eric Montrose. Just say this, you know,
right? Duke.
Exactly.
With you,
I know. And I was gonna give a fun clue at the end of it if you didn't get it that he was a Knick for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Part of the trade. I love Ed Davis. I'll be honest. I could tell you that whole team. I don't remember everybody's
numbers. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, as kids, you remember the numbers, unless it's like the star, like, you know, RJ Barrett and Julius Randle.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you're not going to know.
I couldn't get Kyrie.
Like, if you ask me what Deuce McBride's number is right now, I have no idea. You know, but
number 2.
Yeah. But Greg Anthony's number, I know both his numbers. He was number 2 and number 50. Like, I know that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know, but this, anyway. All right.
I like that. Ed Davis was really solid. If Ed Davis doesn't get hurt in that Sixers series, now, you know who I sound like?
Me?
Knicks fans. If Mitch Robinson wasn't hurt against Capella. All right.
It wasn't for that foul that one time. No. But it's funny that series, the first game 1 that the Nets won of that series, that was the day I got engaged. I got engaged literally during that game, and I just got married because of COVID. So that's how long ago that was, you know, because that was the hell I went through being engaged for so long. We postponed the wedding, but we had to postpone because we were like 2 months out. We had everything booked. We were like, let's go next year. And then we're just like, all right, another few months. And it's just like, all right, now we're finally here. Anyway.
You see the evolution of the Nets
and my life.
And the progress.
I got more gray hairs now. Yeah.
I don't. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
He wore number 4 for the Knicks during the 2010-2011 season, his only season in New York.
2010-2011, number 4, Aaron Aflalo.
No. I didn't look who the answer was. He was the 14th overall pick in the 2008 draft by the Warriors.
Oh, I think I know this. Is it Anthony Randolph? No.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Tried to stump me. You couldn't do it. Tried to stump me. That was a tough one. I just remember when he signed, it was just like it was like, they were, oh, look, Knicks or they traded for him or something. It was like, oh, this could be the guy. It's like, you know, resurrect, second chance, lottery pick. And then it was he had like one really, really good game after he left the Knicks. And then he was never heard from again. Anyway, go ahead.
Aside from the Knicks and Warriors, he also was a member of the T-Wolves, Nuggets during his 6-year career, which fizzled out at the age of 24. With the Knicks, he's got a lot of clues here. With the Knicks, he only appeared in 17 games and made 0 starts after starting 30 games combined the previous 2 seasons with the Warriors. He attended the same university as, let's see if you can get this. He attended this will be the true trivia. He attended the same university as Stroh Swift, Glenn Davis, and Cam Thomas.
See, Stromile Swift. Was it LSU?
Yes, you got it.
You know how I got it? Because a big baby Davis, baby Shaq, whatever. That's why, you know, you got the name. That's the only way I got that. Stromae Swift, I should have known. Yeah,
I've got some good Big Baby Davis stories for you as well. When we had him in studio producing for his show, he was so high.
At CBS Sports Radio, he came in high?
He definitely came in high. I feel confident about that.
Well, he's the guy who was robbing, we came out that he was robbing the health insurance for the NBA.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those guys. You're producing a morning show and it's 6:30 in the morning and you're bringing somebody in and it's like, all right, here we go. But again, anyway,
I gotcha.
He was acquired by the Knicks in the David Lee trade with Golden State, but was ultimately shipped to Minnesota in the 3-team deal that brought Melo to New York City.
David Lee trade. Yeah, that's what it was.
And he shares something in common with Dirk Nowitzki, Dennis Schroeder, and Detlef Schrempf.
There you go. Oh, yeah. See, I found it. The one game he had the next year when he was in Minnesota at Denver, on April 11th, 2012, he scored 28 points and had like 5 blocks and 6 rebounds. He was insane in that game. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, the Knicks made a mistake. And it's just, the guy hadn't played all year, man. Like, relax. Right. He had one good game.
If somebody goes back and listens to every episode and can give our records,
oh, that'd be great.
I don't know. I'll get you something. But
I feel like Coonies or Bobby B will do it. Something. I'll give you a free T-shirt. How about that?
Which we don't have. But maybe one.
I have a bad shirt. Actually, yeah, I can give one.
Yeah, go for it, Alex.
I can give a shirt.
You like it? Let me take it off for now.
Yeah, here, look at this one. Hawaii. No, I have an actual shirt that I bought once that I was thinking about doing for a giveaway. So maybe we'll do that soon as a contest. A Ewing Athletics shirt. Anyway, that's
I don't
podcast,
want it.
Right? You don't
Bad
want
Weather Fans, episode number 98. Knicks winners. They defeat the Indiana Pacers, improved to 18-20. Nets are on a 3-game losing streak. Will that come to an end Wednesday evening? Probably listening to this on Wednesday. And they got the Indiana Pacers. Brooklyn is in Indiana for the debut of NBA champion Kyrie Irving.
I'm telling you right now, I obviously am joking about him scoring 50 and then retiring. I expect a really good game out of Kyrie Irving. If he's no minutes restrictions, he's going to really, he's coming out with like Tasmanian devil out there, man. I'm telling you.
That will be interesting. By the way, the Nets, no shame after the loss last night to Memphis at the arena on the big screen. There was Wednesday night, Nets at Pacers, Kyrie Irving right on it.
So no Charles Oakley. So just Antonio Brown, no Charles Oakley.
Antonio Brown was there. My goodness gracious. Oh my God.
We could talk about that for 10 minutes if we go into that. Let's not about it. People have already heard that already. It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah.
All right.
But it was funny because he probably couldn't get out of town. There was no way. He was like, I'm out of here. And then the next day he's at the Nets game and he probably had no flights.
Seriously. I mean, oh my goodness. It's just
anyway, good.
So bad. It's so bad on so many levels.
Yeah.
The guy's, I don't think he's been the same since that perfect hit. I think there's something like true help he needs.
Yeah, no.
True help he needs. And then he's acting like this and he's an easy target. It's just like, oh my God, Antonio Brown, what is happening? You got Tom Brady's that. All right, I'm ranting here. Bad Weather Fans.
Sometimes coaches curse players out or say some things and they just take it or they curse back. He's the kind of guy who internalizes it and gets upset and takes his shirt off and runs off the field. That's what happens.
It was incredible. You have never seen anything like this. Anyway,
of course it happens at the Jets game.
Of course it happens, right? And then of course the Jets end up losing it, but whatever.
Yeah, because the coaches are lost. Yes, but anyway, go ahead.
But, this is the end of the episode, and thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading, subscribe. You guys know the deal. We appreciate it, Alex. I'll see you next time for 99.
99. Yeah. Oh. No number 99s for jersey number trivia. So we'll have to keep going with Dolan J. Trump.
Well, we did pass DeAndre Bembry, who was 85. So anyway, that was light years.
So was Baron Davis.
Did we skip episodes? Did we do this in order? Are we really at this many?
We are almost at 100. We got to do something special for 100. We'll do something special for 100.
I got an idea.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm going streaking.
Not with me.
No. See y'all later. Bye. We're running over here.